Hiya and welcome to Build. I'm Daniel Welsh and today I'm very excited to say that we are live from London with Adam Lambert. If you're a Glamber and you've got a question for Adam, then please do get in touch. You can either send us your question over Twitter at BuildSeriesLDN, or if you're watching this live on Facebook, then please do put a comment in the video you're currently watching, and we'll do our best to get that to Adam before the end of the interview. Adam Lambert, hello, welcome to Build.
Thank you, hi.
I'm so happy that you're here.
I'm happy I'm here.
Especially because you're so busy right now.
Yeah.
You've got a lot of irons in the fire.
Yeah, about to pop off on another tour.
Exactly, with Queen, right?
Yeah.
So it looks like you're having a lot of fun with those guys on tour.
Yeah,
What's the reaction been like from Queen fans with you as the front man? I know obviously your fans, who there are a lot of here today, right?
I think they've kind of combined forces with the Queen fans. It feels like one family now. It's great.
That's very exciting.
Yeah, and it's been kind of an evolution. You know, it started together about 6 years ago. So now it's, you know, in the beginning I was kind of like, oh gosh, I hope they like me, and I hope I can handle all this singing, and I hope I remember the words, and I hope Brian and Roger let me do what I want to do. I hope they like me, and that grew into something beautiful. And Brian and Roger have been like so warm and open-minded and encouraging the whole time. And they didn't have to be.
No.
They could tell me exactly what they wanted me to do, and I would have gone like, yes, whatever you need, yes, of course.
It's Queen, you don't argue, right?
You do not. Full respect.
You just mentioned they're wanting to do kind of your own thing with the songs, and how do you toe the line there? Because obviously, Queen songs, they're so big and so iconic, and people know them in a certain way, but at the same time, you don't want to come out and be a Freddie Mercury impersonator. You're known for your own performance style.
It's, you know, it's sacred ground in a way. You know, you have to figure out a way to kind of be mindful of the original composition, the song itself, you know, and that's what I started doing. As much as I love Freddie, and that's how I learned most of these songs, I stopped listening to the recordings, and I tried to focus in on the song as a song, not a record. So that kind of helped me look at it a different way, and figure out how I was interpreting the emotion in it and the story. But then again, I didn't want to stray too far away from these amazing songs.
Because people have come to hear them, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's like, the songs and the music of Queen that's why people come to the show, first and foremost. Secondary is us doing it. So it's been really important to kind of keep the integrity of these songs.
Do you have a favorite Queen song to perform live? And are there any that you've deliberately stayed away from for whatever reason?
I mean, I think it depends on the day. I mean, I'll wake up one day and be like, yeah, this is the one today. I mean, most days, Somebody to Love it hits me right in the heart, because I often go like, really, could they come now? I'm ready for some love.
It's a bit close to home.
Yeah, and like if there's anything that like I've dealt with that's frustrating that day, Another One Bites the Dust feels really good. It gets the anger out. Who Wants to Live Forever, I feel like is so special. You know, obviously, Brian wrote it actually about his father who was passing. But now performing it, I think of Freddie.
Yeah, of course.
And there's something just really beautiful about that lyric. So I mean, I could go on and on about all this stuff. They all kind of occupy a different part of my spirit.
This is the thing, their back catalogue is so kind of vast, so you've got a lot
Too
to
many
pick
hits.
from.
There's too many. Yeah.
The questions are already flooding in on social media. Donna on Twitter says, how do you decide which outfits to wear when you're going on tour with Queen?
Well, Donna, it's quite an experience. And it's kind of nuts, because for one of the tours, the first big world tour we did, I hired an amazing stylist, and we found some stuff together. And since then, maybe it's just me being cocky or lazy or cheap. I don't know. I've been like, I'm going to do it myself. So I've definitely been kind of self-styling, which is not too hard because I'm a shopping addict. So
well, that helps.
Yeah, and I tend to be gravitating towards like the flashiest, most obnoxious pieces of clothing anyway that work really well on stage. So I just sit there with my iPad and I online shop, and something comes, I'm like, oh, this would be perfect for the tour.
The thing is, you've kind of, ever since American Idol, you've been known for your fashion choices. Even
some of them good, some of them bad.
Yeah, but isn't that true of all of us here?
Yes, I'm human.
We're not here to judge Adam Lambert, don't worry about it. But like, are there ever moments where you think, oh, should I save this for myself? Is this going to fit in with the Queen brand? Or are you just like, they want me to be me, so I'm just going to wear whatever?
It's kind of all the same one thing.
Yeah,
I think there was a point in time early on where I kind of in my mind wanted to keep things slightly compartmentalized. Like, well, this is the solo stuff, and then this is Queen. And I think that was just me trying to understand where it all fit, but I think over the years, it's just become me. It's
I
just
guess
one thing.
You're
know?
Queen and Adam Lambert, not Queen, so you want to bring the Adam Lambert part to it as well.
Sure, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly, yeah.
And you've just announced a 10-day Vegas residency.
Yeah.
Which is very exciting.
Yeah,
How
I
are
want
you
to
feeling
show
about that
all
whole
of Vegas
situation?
my crown jewels. Yeah. Brian and Roger want to show the crown jewels off as well. They're huge.
This sounds like,
There's a lot of songs.
yes.
You know, a lot of crystals, you know. And yeah, I think people are going to be humming the crown jewels all night in Vegas.
Are you a big Vegas fan in general?
I love Vegas. I mean, we've done Vegas a couple times. They're just one-off tour dates.
Yeah.
It's become such a great place for entertainment.
Of course,
And,
yeah.
everyone's doing shows there now. I mean, at this theater that we're at, the Park Theater, I know Bruno Mars has done a residency. Gaga's doing one there.
Yeah.
Ricky Martin's doing something there. It's a cool roster of artists that have already played, and we're going to add to the roster for the month of September. September's going to be awesome.
You're there right before Lady Gaga, aren't you?
I guess so, yeah.
Have you been swapping kind of Vegas tips with her?
I don't have her on speed dial, so no. But
That is regrettable.
If I run into her, I'll ask her about it. Yeah.
And I know that both Roger and Brian have both said in the past that they'd like to do Queen and Adam Lambert original material. Is that something that you would be interested in?
I don't know. I mean, I think if it was the right thing at the right time, I think we're all open to it, but it has to be right. You know what I mean? It's not as simple as it sounds, I don't think. Because I also think, like, to me, Queen are these songs that we're doing. And that's what the audience is coming in to hear. And I think to me, that's what the collaboration is. It's a live collaboration. I've been fortunate enough to have Brian and Roger express the interest in performing one of my songs. You know, we did Ghost Town down in Rio, and we've been doing What Do You Want From Me, which has been really fun. So that's a treat and an honor that they want to play one of my little pop songs in their iconic set.
Of course.
And we did Two Fucks as well. That was really fun. Two Fucks was amazing. F-U-X. Fucks.
I was going to say, whatever you get up to when you're on tour, that's none of my business.
Yeah.
Like,
That's not what I call Brian and Roger either, okay?
I was wondering. Let's talk about you, because obviously it's been a few years since the original High came out.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering, are we going to get any Adam Lambert solo material in the near future?
I think so.
That is very exciting.
Yes, I've been working. Woo! I've been working really, really intently in the studio. You know, we've been on tour legs. You know, we call them legs, and I've been saying this tired joke that in between legs, I've been working on my own project, which is kind of fun to say. Yeah, I've been working really hard in the studio. I've been taking my time. I feel like, you know, it's possible to pump out music really quickly, but to me, it suffers a little bit, rushing. And I really wanted to take the time to figure out what I wanted to sing about and how I wanted it to sound. And that's all an experimentation. And I've been very fortunate. I've gotten to write with some incredible people. A lot of queer writers this time around. Queer women, queer men, queer people of color, queer everything, and straight people too.
Yeah.
But it's been really cool because I feel like it's allowing me to tap into some subject matter that I'm really passionate about.
Well, that's really interesting, because I was just going to say the world is a slightly different place from the last time that you released material. Is that something that is going to be reflected in the music? And it sounds like if you're working with all of these cool people, it sounds like something that is going to be reflected, right?
I think it is. It's not even a conscious thing. I wasn't like, well, I have to write something that's, you know, but naturally, I'm trying to write about my experience and my point of view. And I have a tendency to really enjoy looking at society and looking at pop culture and sort of studying it and talking about it. And so there's a lot of subject matter in this new material that reflects movements and where we're at and where we've been and where we want to be. And some of it as a society as a whole, as a community, some of it as a person, myself, looking at it as a personal journey. And then there's a lot of songs that I've been writing that are complete whimsy and ridiculous and fun and silly and crazy, like you guys know and love, and stuff about relationships and the heart and longing and intimacy and, you know, the stuff that I love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think the thing is, when you're living through kind of difficult times, it's important that art mirrors that, but also you need some relief too, right?
Yeah, man. It's good to party. Yeah.
It's tough out there. Like, you need
Yeah.
something to kind of distract you a bit
Escape
too.
is important, just as important as catharsis, and just as important as strength, I think escape is good.
While we're on the subject of your music, Mr. Rolly asked on Twitter, which of your songs are you the most proud of?
All of them? I don't know. I know that's a tricky question. I mean, it kind of like asking me what my favorite Queen song is. It kind of depends on what we're talking about. I don't know. Like that song "Outlaws of Love" is a song that I wrote for my Trespassing album, which was my second album, and that's a song I'm really proud of because I felt it was a way to sum up sort of what it feels like to be an outsider and to be persecuted or punished for loving who you want to love. Mm-hmm. There's been a few songs that I feel very, very passionate about. Underneath is a really powerful record. Cuckoo is a record that I feel really, just kind of sums up my energy because I'm nuts. I don't know. I mean, you name it. I mean, on the original High, I really, obviously Ghost Town, it tapped into something that I was noticing in Hollywood and being in that city for so long and seeing people chase dreams that are not materializing and how that kind of leaves you feeling a bit empty. I mean, I love them all. They're my babies.
Of course.
Yeah.
Let me ask you, how do you think that the upcoming fourth album will be different to what you've released in the past?
It's hard for me to understand exactly what the album's going to be because I have so many songs at this point, and I haven't narrowed it down. I'm still writing. I was writing up until I left 3 days ago. I was in the studio. At this point, I'm just like writing, because that's sort of the mindset that I'm in. And then I think after a little bit of time away from the studio, probably after this tour, I'll be able to kind of zoom out, as I say, and get more perspective and kind of go, okay, this is sort of these are the songs I want on the album.
Yeah.
I definitely think that as a whole, though, all the writing has, it feels authentic. It feels like I'm really writing from experience, and I'm writing from my stance on things. And some may say that it's kind of a full circle to my first album, more so than the second or the third one were. So yeah. But I guess there's bits of the second. I don't know. There's bits of the second one too.
I was going to say, why would you say it would feel like a full circle? Because I guess the first album was an introduction to you. Do you think it's kind of like revisiting that idea?
It will have been 10 years next year since the first album. So there's this weird full circle decade thing. I've learned a lot about myself. I've learned a lot about the world. I've experienced a lot, and I think you'll see all that in the album. Yeah.
Chimes on Twitter wants to know, and so do I, what is your most embarrassing moment while touring with Queen, or indeed any tour?
My pants ripped open once.
Is this an incident everyone is already familiar with? When was this?
It was during one of the first times out. We were in London. It was the first time we were playing the Hammersmith. And I had a pair of leather trousers on. They were really fabulous, by the way.
Sounds it.
Quite good pants. And I stepped down on the stage and was out in the audience for a little bit and then went back up to the stage, and I had to step up quite a high lip of the stage, and it just went up the back.
How do you recover from that? Because
I wanted to show everybody what I did. Look what I did! I didn't try to hide it.
One of two choices, right? So
I mean, I did have a pair of Spanx on underneath, so so you weren't going to see anything. But I was like, look, I ripped my butt. Yeah.
Nice. On a more serious note, you're here in London, and while you're here, you're going to be paying a visit to the charity Mosaic, is that right?
Yes, later tonight, yeah.
And that's tonight.
Yeah.
And that's to talk about issues relating to queer youth, is that right?
Yeah, I mean, Mosaic's this amazing organization that I'm just getting involved with now, and I'm very excited to speak to a group of young people who have come to this organization or are part of it to find community. That's really important, especially if you're part of a movement of people that's maybe not necessarily part of the mainstream, even though it's getting a lot better. Mm-hmm. It's good to find like-minded individuals. It's good to have support. And the organization's brilliant. It helps people find ways to make friends, to build this community, to talk to each other about issues. They go on trips to places. There's cultural immersion. I'm very excited. I'm very excited to talk about my experience as an artist, as a queer person, as a singer, as somebody who's always felt different and always felt like an outsider. So I understand.
I think that's been like a recurring theme throughout your career, is this idea of being an outsider. So
I'm an alien. Come on. Yeah.
But then, you know, a lot of us feel that way, and so it's great to kind of have these figureheads who,
Yeah, I
especially
agree.
when you're dealing with young people,
Yeah.
you can feel alienated.
Well, I have to say, like, when I started as a singer and auditioned for American Idol, I didn't go into that audition hoping. I didn't go into the audition hoping, you know what, I want to audition for American Idol because I want to be a role model. That wasn't what I was thinking. I was like, I want to sing and follow my dreams and build a career. And then very quickly, I learned that by doing that and by daring to be different, all of a sudden it was something greater than me. It was affecting people just by the example that I was setting. And when I met fans early on that said things to me like, you know, by you being who you were and not apologizing for it, and singing about the things you sing about and saying the things you said, you gave me the hope and the strength to be who I wanted to be. And again, like, I don't say that to pat myself on the back. I say it because, wow, I didn't even expect that to be part of this journey. And once it hit me that that was the power of being a public figure, it's something that I've been really honored to try to keep doing. You know?
But you know, you're somebody who has been out from like the beginning of your career. Is it kind of frustrating for you, who's someone who's always used your voice, to kind of see people maybe not using their platform in a way to do good like they could, and kind of not seize those opportunities that you have?
I mean, I've been focusing more on the people who are.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that we have so many queer artists, not so many, but there's a handful of queer artists now that are really comfortable, and they're coming up in a time where it's much better than it was 10 years ago even.
Definitely.
It's not something that's as taboo. It's not something that is going to be as much of a roadblock to your success as it maybe might have been 10 years ago or 20 years ago. You know, we have artists like there's like Troye Sivan and Ollie Alexander from Years and Years, and Sam Smith and Haley Kiyoko, and other artists that were in my batch like Sam Sparrow and Jake Shears, and I'm just so excited. I'm so excited for this movement. I mean, Todrick Hall is another one that's unbelievable with what he's doing. Unbelievable. My friend Vincent that I just made back at home in LA, I don't know if you've heard Vincent. You guys look up Vincent. He's an incredible singer. I could go and list people. It's been really exciting to see the fear taken away from being a queer artist. When I started and did American Idol, coming off of American Idol, I've often been asked, did you ever experience any homophobia? And I was really lucky because when I grew up, I came out to very, very liberal household. My parents were very cool with it. Yeah. I was in the theater, so obviously like that was a very embracing community. And, you know, I hadn't really dealt with a lot of homophobia. I come off American Idol and finally am faced with the idea that I need to declare that I'm gay because I didn't realize that they didn't know. I was like, are you kidding me? I thought y'all knew. I knew since everyone else around me on the show, I was like, who's that? He's cute, you know. But I learned very quickly that there is a responsibility to be a queer celebrity, and I had to learn on the spot what that responsibility was. And so I did, and I don't know, I just, that was the first time I started experiencing homophobia, was being a public figure and all of a sudden taking on more than just the bubble that was West Hollywood and the theater world, but all of a sudden it was like middle America and around the world. Mm-hmm. And I had a lot of love and a lot of support from my fans, but in equal measure, there was a lot of hate and there was a lot of negativity.
Yeah.
And it was something that I had to get my head around. I had to learn to ignore it. I had to learn to sort of stand my ground. And I did some things, especially early on, that were very bold to prove a point, because that's the kind of guy I am. And I had to do what I wanted to do to make a stand. You know, lots of kissing, same-sex kissing, and it was something that I stand behind. You know, I wanted to prove that point, but also that there was a double standard. And I'm like, so I'll do it too.
But you just mentioned that double standard. Like way at the beginning, I remember your AMAs performance where you kissed the backing singer, whoever it was, and Good Morning America blurred it.
It was after showing Madonna and Britney kissing.
Yeah,
so I was like,
within seconds.
So is it because we're men? is that why we're being interesting? Okay. I didn't get it. I couldn't wrap my head around it. I was like, that's so offensive.
It was outrageous. It
Yeah.
remains outrageous
Yeah.
today. Do you think that would still happen 10
I don't
years
think so.
on?
I don't think it would. And it was interesting because I don't think anybody really knew what was going on. I don't think you realize like the weight or the importance of things like that as you're in them, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was scary for me because all of a sudden, because of that choice that I had made, which was motivated by a lot of the chatter and the heat that I was getting from fans or the gay press or executives or management, there was a lot of talk around sexuality. And I was just getting fed up. And so I think some of that was me sort of lashing out without realizing it. And I was told after that point, like, you know what, you did a lot of damage to your career. This is going to be tough to repair. And that was scary because on one hand, I was like, yeah, but by principle, I believe in what I did. And I will not apologize because I am who I am.
Of course.
But at the same time, it was terrifying. It was terrifying because I had to realize that I didn't want to lose my chance. You know, I had worked this hard, I'd competed on the show, and all of a sudden I had this opportunity in front of me to be a pop singer in a mainstream America as an out gay man, which was something that I didn't even think was possible. So I had to be really, really mindful at that point. I'm like, well, how do I balance this while still maintaining my opportunity here?
Yeah.
So it was terrifying.
How did you deal with that? Because that sounds like a lot to deal with in one go.
Carefully? I don't know. I just tried. I tried my best. And I made choices that I stood behind. Principle was really important to me. I had to make sure I wasn't compromising my integrity, but definitely wanted to keep entertaining people and wanted the opportunities that were available to me. So it was interesting.
You've discussed kind of the progress that's been made towards LGBT people today in the last 10 years. This talk you're doing tonight is specifically dealing with young people. So what issues are they still facing today, and how does that differ to what people were facing 10 years ago, would you say?
Good question.
Thank you very much.
I need a sip of water for that, actually. Hold on. Let me hydrate.
Hold that thought.
Hold on. I think that, especially as a young person, if you're identifying as any type of queer identifying as a queer identity, that's the tricky thing, is figuring out who you are and where you fit. And I think in this age of social media, labeling is so out of control. You know, it's the way that we fit into certain boxes and define ourselves, and it's the way people relate to each other, especially because on social media, I find that while you can connect with more people, no matter where you are, there's something sort of not quite as authentic as a face-to-face connection.
Of course.
So I think the labeling has become sort of a byproduct of that. And for a young person trying to fit into what they think they're supposed to be, in an age where we're flipping through Instagram and you have to pick the right filter and look amazing and get followers and be popular, it's tricky. It's creating a culture, if we're not careful, of people just posing for the masses, for fans.
Absolutely.
And it's really important at some point, even in the age of us taking selfies and trying to project something of ourselves, we have to be able to look in the mirror as well and face our own self and be real with ourselves. And I think as a young person, you're sort of, I think younger and younger people are really savvy. Kids are smart. They're on the internet. They're seeing what's out there. They have the information. But I think that self-work and facing your own truth is the hardest thing to do in today's day and age. So I hope that tonight I'm able to answer some questions about that, about searching for authenticity and truth.
We've had some shout-outs on social media. Sarah says, "You've paved the way for so many, Adam. You showed them." A fair point, Sarah. Dawn
Sarah.
says, "Looking gorgeous, Mr. L."
Oh,
thank you. Fair point, Dawn.
Thank you. I was up at 7 a.m.
Well, you would never tell. Sheila says, "Hi, Adam, love you to bits."
Aww.
And we've had an important question on Twitter, arguably the most important question we've had in the last 20 minutes. "Hi, Adam, it's Melissa. I was wondering what hair product you use."
Clearly the most important question. I don't know what I put in my hair today. I think it was some hair oil, a little wax.
Dig deep for Melissa, Adam.
Thanks,
dig deep.
Melissa. Yeah, it's movable. It really flops. flops today.
It is looking good.
Thanks.
Well, we're on the subject of Melissa's question. I have something that I need to clear up because you were involved in one of the most important pop culture moments of 2018 when you were present on RuPaul's Drag Race All-Stars when BBC Horror Benet did her Raka Tiki Taka rap.
Amazing.
Was that is insane IRL?
Well, wait, is that the most important moment, or was it when Ben de la
We'll get to
Creme
that. I need to hear
cut
about the rap
herself?
first.
I mean, that rap cracked me up. I definitely...
Your facial reaction to that was probably my favorite thing in the world.
I was not ready for that, and I kept laughing.
The world wasn't ready.
She had me in stitches the entire time. It was amazing.
And
then Ben de la Creme cut herself from that, and I was like, what? And it was hard for me because I hadn't been watching the whole competition, so I didn't know what was going on. And then, when the whole show premiered and I got to watch all the episodes leading up to it, I was like, oh man, this is deep.
What was that like in the room when she pulled that lipstick out with her own name X'd out on it?
I mean, I didn't get it because I didn't have any context. I was just like, is she crazy? And I think the air got sucked out of the room a little bit. Like Rue was speechless and Michelle was speechless, and they went to commercial and Michelle was, I just don't know why she did that. She could have won this thing. So yeah.
You were close enough to feel, were there sparks coming out of RuPaul's ears at that point?
I don't know how she felt about it. She had her glamazon poker face on, I don't know. I didn't talk to her about it. Yeah. She was definitely shocked. Mm-hmm. But it was great publicity, wasn't it?
It certainly was. And here we are talking about it.
Yeah, exactly.
Let me ask you, so you're talking to these young people tonight. What is your main advice, you would say, for young people who are feeling the way that you described at the beginning, feeling kind of isolated, feeling like they're the only one who feels a way that actually a whole community of people do?
Well, I think that's the cool thing about, obviously there's a dark side of social media, but the plus side is that you can connect. Even if you're in a community where you're the only one that you think is like you, you might reach out and find somebody in town that identifies like you that you can become friends with, or a couple towns away, or another country, another continent. I think that the beauty of that is that you don't have to feel alone. It's very easy to connect now, and to talk about these things. I think that's great. I love that. But like I said, I think it goes deeper than that. It goes deeper than just making a connection with people that are like you. I think it's about maintaining a sense of self. It's about maintaining the truth of who you are. And I think I'm going to get more into that by asking questions and hearing stories tonight. It's not so much about me lecturing, because I'm not I don't know everything. I'm not a guru of gay things. I'm just here to try to talk and facilitate.
And finally, what about you? What is next for you? Where would you like to be in the next, say, 12 months?
12 months from now, I'm definitely going to be well into promoting an album, I think.
That's exciting.
Yeah, I think so, yeah. I want to be very focused on that, yeah.
Okay, well, on that note...
My solo music, yeah.
Do you think, being on tour with Queen has, kind of influenced your, the music you're going to be making? Do you think it's going to have more of a rock element? Because that's, again, what you started with, and then you took a much more kind of dance pop route.
Yes, you're right. I get so, the genre thing is funny to me, because, growing up, I listened to so many different types of music, and I have so many different artists that I look up to that never stayed in one box either. Mm-hmm. And Queen, in particular, isn't just rock. They are rock, but they did everything. They were doing the blues, and they were doing rock, and they were doing funk, and they were doing operetta, and chamber music at one point or another. They experimented with so many different styles of music. Same thing with Michael Jackson and Madonna and all these pop icons that were the ones that we will always remember. So I've always tried not to be defined by a genre. I feel like that's a bit limiting. And this next project is not defined by a genre. There's a lot of influences. I don't think that sticking in one box I think it's boring. Yeah. Yeah. And I think the most interesting music currently is the music where it's fusing a bunch of different styles together in unexpected ways. So that's what I hope to do.
Well, unfortunately, that is all we've got time for. But please give it up, everybody, one last time for the amazing Adam Lambert.
Oh, thank you. Thanks, guys. Thank you.